Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I'm coming to you today with a tarot reading, and this is what you need to hear coming up for the year of 2026 as it pertains to your career. So you may already know the pile that is the best fit for you, but if you need help making a decision, I encourage you to close your eyes if you're able to. Imagine that there's this bright white light at the top of the universe. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, imagine that you are inhaling the light through your body and charging the ground beneath you. As you exhale, pull the light back up through the body and imagine it filling your heart center with this golden sphere of energy. Take a second and sit with that energy, and then look at the piles in front of you, and the one that you feel the most drawn to is going to be the one for you. And I'll have the timestamps listed in the description below that will take you to your reading. Hey everybody that chose pile number 1, welcome to your reading. This is what you need to hear for the year of 2026. And the card that you've chosen is Kairos, and this, I believe, is number 76. I have to remember my Roman numerals. All right, so if this is 76, I'm going to pull the book on this and tell you exactly what this is representing. So it says mythic time and synchronicity. We've all had these experiences of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it's all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. So it also has this section here that says, when light, alignment, ease in decisions and action, but when dark, fighting against time. So I think that it's always this dualistic nature when it comes to these archetypes. And it has that dark underside to it of time and time constraints, and also, like it said, feeling like you are fighting against time. So that might be something that you've been struggling with. And also, that feeling of timelessness, I feel like, is something that you are kind of searching for, or you're starting to integrate within your life. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot cards to get some further clarification, but right off the bat, I am feeling this kind of call towards, it doesn't have to be something artistic, but it could be something that you do lose yourself within time. So maybe this is finding a career that you enjoy, or starting doing work in an area that you actually really enjoy. And the card that I've pulled first is the Page of Pentacles, which is fantastic. I look at this card as we are planting the seeds and we're starting this kind of pollination of what's to come and what's to grow within the future. Let's see what else. I've got the Knight of Swords. So already what this is telling me is how this is related to other people, because we've got a couple court cards, and usually when more court cards are coming out, it usually represents other people. And we have the Queen of Swords. So definitely people oriented. A common interpretation when it comes to these court cards is that each one represents an actual person within your life. I try to go by the more esoteric underpinnings of what that means, and that would represent that each of these cards represents like an aspect of yourself, like the page being this curiosity of money and finance maybe, or even doing the work and planting those seeds. And the Knight of Swords would represent action and moving forward and doing something very quickly, maybe with even not really thinking something through all the way. And then the Queen of Swords is integrating that knowledge and taking it back in, cultivating this level of understanding from the experience that the action was taken from the Knight of Swords. So what I'm seeing here is we have this internal external thing, which is what a lot of these court cards represent. So we are cultivating this love for this place that we would like to be in. And we are taking action from that place with the knight. and we are cultivating an understanding with the Queen. But because these are court cards, what this is representing is your entire year is probably going to involve other people, like a lot. And it could even involve like climbing the ranks, so to speak. So these court cards are generally people who are living in royalty. So this could represent status. And I could see a lot changing when it comes to your status. It's almost like we're going from the lower ish part of that status. So the not lower class, it's still in royalty, but rising up from that place to a position of power. So I'm also seeing this callback of your authority, this take back of your authority when it comes to your career. So that's also really exciting. Let's get into some more specifics though of this year. So for the first 3 months, the card that has come out is the Sun. And we also have the Queen of Pentacles for the next 3 months. And for the next 3 months, I've got the Queen of Wands. Wow, lots and lots of queens. You have almost all the queens. And finally, we have the Ace of Cups. Awesome. This is extremely positive. The Sun is like this burst of energy. It represents this vitality. It's also a major arcana card, so this is representing a big deal, a big moment of initiation. And the Sun represents presence. So it is coming into your own, coming into your authenticity, shining that light out. We all depend on the Sun. It is having like that moment in the spotlight. All of these kinds of things are associated with the Sun. And also think about abundance. It's success. And it can absolutely represent riches. And whether that is materialistic riches, I think that it goes deeper than that, just because think about where we all get our energy from. We all get our energy from the source, the Sun. And this goes deeper than just the material, but it definitely is involved in the material. So for example, the plants that you eat, the animals that you eat, any kind of food that you take into your body, it all gets its energy from the Sun. You get all of your energy from the Sun. It all comes back to that same source. And so yes, that is partly materialistic. It's stabilizing, but it goes deeper than that. It goes into like an energetic level, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It goes way deeper. It's spiritual, energetic. It's that life force energy. And this is the energy that you're being called to step into within the first 3 months of the year. And you might see this energy reflected back to you like you are a rising star. Like you are shining your light out, maybe like you've never done before. Something is really clear. It represents clarity. People are picking it up. People are receiving your light specifically. Now you've got these court cards for like the middle-ish of the year. So we're going from like March to September. And if we're going from March to September, we see the Queen of Pentacles, we see the Queen of Wands, and they are both creating this understanding. It's internalizing. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of like the homemaker in some way, like it's the environment, it's the place that you're living in. It represents stability. It does represent growth monetarily. It's success. It's all of those things. So paying attention to what does that look like? And also what does your internal life look like when it comes to those qualities, when it comes to the health of the body? What is increasing within those areas? You are focusing really on cultivating those or growing, nourishing is the word. You are specifically doing that with the seeds that you have planted, maybe within the last couple years. Something is growing, and it's growing a lot quicker at this point. The Queen of Wands is the wands are the fire energy. It represents drive, desire, passion, and all of those qualities. But the Queen is able to take that authoritative power and pull it back down into the physical. And she's doing this with her intuition. It is related to magic, and it is related to having a vision and expanding upon that vision. How are you going to take that thing that you're really passionate about, that feels timeless to you, that you're able to just enter into this flow state, into the stream of consciousness? How are you able to take that and put it in a way that you make money off of it? I think that this is like my creatives. You guys might have chosen Pile 1, a lot of creative people, or even people who are searching for the truth. And I think if you're watching this channel, you're searching for the truth. I think those are just the kind of people who come to these videos. But you might have this, think about the eye here. You have a vision, you have something specific that you can see in the world. Even the word observation comes to mind. There's something that you can see in the world around you. And you also have been taking this in and integrating it in some way within your consciousness, and your mission or your goal for the year is to be able to take that out in a creative way, bring it into the physical reality, as also is represented by the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, definitely think of the phrase, my cup runneth over. How are you able to fill your cup up? But the cups also represent that world of creativity, and how you are able to find something and create something truly fulfilling within your life from that fire, though. So it's how fire and water interact together. It's being able to hold both of those energies at the same time. How are you able to take the drive and the energy and the passion and the excitement and the adventure, and how are you able to take that and actually work with it in a way that is expansive and flowing and flexible, adaptable, and is truly creative? And in some ways, these things can be somewhat contradictory, but they don't necessarily have to be. It's finding an equilibrium, I think, within these couple energies. It's usually balanced by air. And we don't see a whole lot of air within this reading, a whole lot of the Suit of the Swords. Maybe we will, but it's balanced by air, or it's carried out by air through the mind. But the focus is not completely on the mind when it comes to your year. It is much closer to the heart of it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull a few more cards and see what we've got for you, Pile 1. I'm going to pull one last tarot card, and we're going to pull some Oracle. You've got the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is the card of pleasure. It's the card of celebration, and it's also success. And we see the three women within the card, and what this is reminding me of is the triple goddess, and you could even relate this in some ways to the moon, like the three phases of the moon, how we have this increasing, we have a fullness, we have a decreasing. Things are always fluctuating, but the main energy for the year is like the celebration, and it is indulging within the success of where we are right now. So definitely take this moment and enjoy it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these oracle cards. It says, I am a citizen of the planet, and we've gotten that here on this channel before. All right, I am a citizen of the planet, and this is card 20. And I know that this has to do with cultures. It says, I am a citizen of the planet, the value of jumping between the microcosmic details of life and the macrocosmic efforts of the small choices that we make in life. Feeling connected to the myriad cultures and different approaches that allow other cultures outside of our own take. Allowing this to serve as inspiration. So you might be observing different modalities, different systems. It could be different structures, different frameworks. It could be different, like when you're observing different cultures, it could be different religions or just different viewpoints. All of these things can be inspiring. So taking in all of this knowledge and being able to see the bottom line, where do these things connect? And again, relating back to this eye that we see on that first card, is that this is just one consciousness seeing out through all of these different little focal points of that same consciousness, all of these different aspects, and highlighting these different parts. So you might want to encourage yourself to search for the bottom line. What is the common denominator within all of these different aspects, within all of these different focal points of the same oneness, the same consciousness? Something to think about. All right, I have these, well, they're called affirmation cards, but they're not necessarily like affirmation. I like to look at them as starting maybe like an inquiry for yourself, but it says healing. So maybe focus on what is it in your life that you feel like you need healing on. It says your body, your mind, and soul are in a period of deep healing right now. You're going through many transformations at once, and you're being asked to allow yourself to receive the healing you need with open arms and an open heart. So it makes me really curious as to what way that healing is going to come about. So you're being asked to allow yourself to receive the healing that you need with the open arms and an open heart. But where? Where specifically is this healing coming for you within your life? And it could definitely be, of course, the reading is oriented towards career and finances and all of those kinds of things. Maybe it has to do with that. Maybe it has to do with your stability and structure within the world. Maybe it has to do with the way that you are perceived. I think the sun even has a lot to do with what is being perceived, what is the truth, what is out in the open, what can be seen. You can't really hide from that, from the light of the day, the truth that's coming. Maybe that is it. Or maybe even thinking about the healing properties of the sun. Maybe not specifically just laying out under the sun and tanning. Don't do that. don't get skin cancer. But okay. Well, we have another clue here because this card is saying breaking bad habits. So if you have a specific bad habit that comes to mind when this card comes out, that is something for you to think about. Take a screenshot of this, draw the symbol, put it in places that you see it often, put energy into it, charge it, do what you got to do with it. But it says self-acceptance and excellent mental health. So this is also really good for this year, but it can come about through breaking a bad habit. So if there is something specific in your life that you can think of that you know your life would be just better without, even though it's really difficult because certain things like feel really good and certain things make us feel a sense of relief. They give us a sense of respite, but they could be kind of damaging to our integrity. And that is something that you want to take a look at. Excuse me. That's something that you want to take a look at this year because you want to be able to be in the best possible energy that you can be in. Don't beat yourself up though if you slide off, you get off of your trajectory to a better state of mental health or a better state of consciousness. This is a learning experience and it's informative. So definitely a goal, I think, this year is to break bad habits. And it could also be a level of sacrifice. You can turn it into a spiritual sacrifice because when you are removing something, the energy does not necessarily get removed. It's just kind of put into a different place. So that's basically what you're doing. So if you, to use an example, if it's spending a lot of time on social media, maybe it is deciding to stop spending a bunch of time on social media and instead working on your business or working on ways to get this promotion or applying for different jobs. It could be you are replacing the time and replacing the energy and putting it into a different place. It's probably going to actually make you feel better. It's going to make you feel a sense of liberation versus a sense of dread or even a tearing down, a dethroning of your integrity. All right, so I'm going to pull. Oh, this is the last card. This is going to be your affirmation card, pile number 1. When it comes to your career this year, everything is looking really good. It's really successful. It's going to be a year that I think is going to be related to a lot of creativity. Your card says healing. You have like 3 cards that are so centered on healing. I'm actively healing. May I continue to accept the healing energy sent by the universe. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video and watching this reading, pile number 1. If this resonated with you, please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe for more content. And again, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time. Hey everybody that chose pile number 2, welcome to your reading, and this is going to be about what you need to hear for this upcoming year as it pertains to your career, your finances, and the card that we've chosen here is the box. And alright, so taking a look at the book, first of all, every archetypal energy has this light side and a dark side, or you could say the shadow. So before I even start reading this description, I want to say that this card can represent the cage, the rules, the norm, and within the light, so the light side of the card, it says structure, order, coherence, logic. So these are the positives of the box and what it represents. It's got boundaries. Now, the dark side of this energy is limitation, rigidity, it's judgment, and it is fear. So the same thing that structures us and gives us order can also cause limitations and vice versa. So how can you break out of the box? How can you break out of this? That might be a question to ask yourself. So you might already understand exactly what this is talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the description. We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of layer upon layer of social construct. Take a look at all these layers within that box. Now, and pressures. So layer upon layer of social construct and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply to stay small. There is a box around you now made of some type of confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Just keep going, break through. An exquisite life requires it. One thing that comes to mind as I read that description too is kind of like human nature. How we have this, well, you could say a lower self. You have this more animalistic side of the self, and on one hand, we can use it in a lot of ways. It's natural, and it's just a drive within us, and it's could be geared towards survival. But there's so much to benefit by actually going against it, swimming upstream against it. And that kind of reminds me a little bit of this box too. How are you able to break through your limitations and grow? Because that's how we grow. That's how we get outside of the box, honestly. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some cards for you. Already, this is making me think of careers that we are not necessarily happy in because they put us in a box. So the first card that I've drawn here is the Eight of Wands. All right. Let's see what else we've got for this year. We've got the Five of Swords. Definitely can start feeling that box energy there, some level of entrapment. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So this is actually really positive. This is really exciting because the placement of the Five of Swords is actually within the challenge of the year. So honestly, it fits there. It doesn't really throw anything off too much. It's just information. It's just details because the Five of Swords is one of the more negative cards. But what it really represents is kind of slavery within the mind. It's being attached to certain things. It could be somebody else having the upper hand. But usually it's within the self. It is how are we chaining ourselves up? So that is your question when it comes to your mind. How is your thinking kind of chaining you up? The Eight of Wands is moving very quickly. It could have to do with communication. It could have to do with skills and learning. It's also taking action to some degree, but A lot of the times when this comes out, I really think about this integration. Something's happening within the consciousness, within the mind, within our skill set. Something is changing. And it has to do with what is lighting us on fire. Think about that element of fire. What is it that you're passionate about? So you are making a lot of progress within that area this year, which is honestly breaks us out of the box. It's what breaks us out of the box. I mean, really think about it. Fire is what burns away the old, and fire can even it burns bridges and it burns through obstacles. And I'm not saying to go out there and start burning bridges or anything like that, but it could be some sort of fire that's being lit within you that just can't take being in the box anymore. And that's what's going to help lead you to those actions to get you outside of the confines of the box. And the really unique thing about this reading, or the interesting thing, is that at the end we've got the Four of Pentacles, which kind of puts us in another box. It's not bad. The Four of Pentacles represents success. It's a really good card monetarily. And it can be quite a large amount of success, honestly. And there's even a fear that could be involved with the success, like holding on to it and not wanting to let go, or kind of worrying about, is this a one-hit wonder? Is this it? So I don't want those limiting things. That's the next box. Honestly, you hit a successful stride and it's like you've put yourself yet again in another box. It's not a bad thing. It's still progress. It's still progress, and you've achieved goals that you wanted to achieve. So this is the blessing for the year, that you will achieve goals that you've set out to achieve. Yes, you will be putting yourself yet again in another box, but that is normal. And I really want to make that clear, that that is 100% normal. And you will break out of that box. I would just be careful about making life, though, into a puzzle that you're just trying to solve all the time. There are the benefits of holding that energy and trying to figure out a lot of things in life and break through the next goal and the next one and being very ambitious. But at the same time, you want to be able to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and take your time moving through it. But it does look like this is an accelerated year, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a few more cards about the specifics that are going on within the year and what is any kind of like advice or information we can gather. The very first card for your first 3 months of the year is Death. All right, let's see what else we've got for you, pile 2. You've got the Two of Cups. All right. Pile 2. What do we have? Next is the King of Cups. And the last energy for the year is the King of Pentacles. All right. So definitely a very profitable year, I think. Death is an ending. You can often look at it as a transformation, transition. And it's a stripping away of everything that doesn't serve us. And I've been talking about this a little bit more lately, that it's the ending of pain, it's the ending of suffering. So it's not that death is necessarily a bad thing. When we see this card come up, it's really the ending of what it was that doesn't serve us. And it's the ending of the struggles and all of the hardships that we've been experiencing. So there could be a transition that is starting you out at the beginning of the year, whether this is you making the decision to move into a different line of work, or it's the decision to go all in on something else, or even a change of mindset. It doesn't necessarily have to be concrete and physical in that way. It could be a complete transition of the way that you're looking at your job. It could be a full-in commitment, honestly. But the commitment takes you having to get rid of all of these other commitments that are not serving you, that are not on your path to enjoying your career and enjoying what it is that you do that makes you money. It could be that too. Now, your next 3 months, so looking at maybe like from March to June-ish kind of thing, you've got the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups represents relationship, and it could be actual relationship. It could be a business partnership, even with a romantic interest, or within a marriage. It could be working together within the marriage to improve finances. It could be you actually meeting somebody within business or within your career that's actually going to help you and up-level you, or it's going to be some sort of mutual learning experience together. It can represent that. But the key thing that I always look at when it comes to the Two of Cups is, how do you see divinity reflected with an other? What is it that you respect about the other person? If you can find these little areas of reverence, I think, within other people, like what is it that you really enjoy about their energy, and starting to take all of the negative sides of people and situations and kind of putting them off to the side, really guarding the thoughts and focusing, cultivating this garden within the mind of what is actually serving you, and what is it that you can do to be of service to other people within your life. That's one of the things I really like to think of when I see the Two of Cups. It's kind of like this give and take kind of energy there. Now, the King of Cups, when we're moving from June, July, August, September, this is like standing in your authority when it comes to the creative world. What is it that you want to cultivate emotionally? How are you able to go through your obstacles, your challenges? How do you deal with them? It's like emotional maturity. That's what I like to think of when I see the King of Cups. It is a really strong energy, and it can involve a lot of other people. I think that there's an eloquence that's coming within that part of the year. It's a success, especially with two kings here. When it comes to the second half of the year, it could be rising up. Pile one had a theme there of like rising up in the ranks. It could definitely be that way for you too. And it's all coming from the catalyst of letting go. It's all coming from that place of letting go of what just didn't serve us before. So it could absolutely be a career transition. Again, does not have to be, but it is breaking out of that mold that we've built around ourselves, or the one that's been put around us that we kind of started out with. So as we move from the King of Cups to the King of Pentacles, this is success. It's a strong foundation. It's strong stability. Money is really good. It could be we are really enjoying the fruits of our labor, the fruits of our hard work. We are in a position of authority. It could be a position of leadership. It is related to Taurus. Taurus is all about stability. So think about those things within your life, and what is it that you would like to experience? What represents stability for you? What represents confidence for you? What represents authority for you? Those are the qualities that you want to focus on the most, and cultivating those the most throughout this year. But that is really where we end within the year, is in that place, in that position of power even. All right, so one more card before we get into these oracle cards for you, pile 2. And I love this because you've got the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is another money card. Like it's a sense of generosity. I'm filming this, by the way, on Christmas Eve. Today is December 24th. And it makes me think of giving gifts and receiving gifts. It's just this energy of sharing what you love about another person. And if you're buying a gift for somebody, you're buying something that you know that they enjoy, or hopefully that you know that they enjoy, or what you're doing is showing your respect and love for that person by giving them a gift. It's some people's love language even is gifts. So when you receive, I want you to receive with open arms as well. And at the same time, give. It sounds ridiculously simple coming out of my mouth, honestly. Oh, give and receive. But really, 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 a lot of us don't think about this and really relish in those moments when we do give and receive. And take a look at it from an observational point of view. And the more that you can spend time in those energies, it's kind of related to that Two of Cups too, how you can see like the divinity within other people. the more that you can sit within that energy and see that energy all around you, I think that really breaks us out of the box as well. It really puts us in a position where we can look at the box a little bit from the outside and examine it. We just observe it. And we are able to actually make sense of things and do things. We're able to integrate the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding that we've been gaining. It is a beautiful way of being able to understand stability and to be able to look at all of these things from that outside lens, which kind of puts us above those things in a way. And anyway, I know I'm going off track, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these oracle cards, but that is something that I want you to observe when it comes to your life, is that giving and receiving and that sense of generosity even and reciprocity. So you've got card 22, which is who's got your back? That kind of reminds me of that Two of Cups energy. All right, so I am going to pull the book here, card 22. And it says, who's got your back? Seeking to spend more time with people who truly want that is in your best interest. They are kindly, protective, and empathetic with you. Who are the people in your life that really have your best interest in their heart? Spend as much time with those people, I think, as you can. Cherish those people, hold them close. They are really rare. And and then they don't also last forever either. Everything in life is temporary. So really enjoy the moments that you have with those kinds of people because of their rarity. I love that card. I'm going to pull any kind of other specific messages that can give us any kind of insights or inquiry. We've got release. You're being asked to release any toxic people or situations from your life. You deserve to be free of all drama, and this is the first step to achieving that. So it's so funny because it all goes back to the box. What happens when you break through the boundaries within a box? I mean, gosh, you are released. You are releasing. What happens with death? It is a releasing. It happens when we let go of those things that were holding us back. So if you have people or situations or a toxic job, you deserve to be free of this drama. And I have to be 100% clear with you guys when I say this, that I'm not saying to just go quit your job or anything like that. You know your life and you know your situation better than I do. And don't listen to a tarot reader and let them tell you that you need to quit your job or leave a partner or anything like that. That's ridiculous. That's not what this is for. But what I am saying is that there is something within your life that you can go ahead and release and let go of, whether this is actually making a decision to move on from a space that you already know that you want to move on from, or it is detaching from the expectations of that type of situation. Maybe it's the expectations within a job, or maybe it's the expectations within a person or a family member, but being able to let go of your attachment to what that person should be or what that situation should look like. It could even be gaining back your autonomy and how it is that you present yourself to the world, or how you see yourself in your own eyes. So don't outsource your authority to anybody or any job or situation. Be able to stand in your own authenticity. All right, so I'm going to pull this magic symbol card, and these are something that you can put energy into them. You can draw them, put them in places that you see them often. You can work with them in however way that you would like to work with them. And you've got water. It says, work with the element of water for healing and purification. Water is more than just healing and purification. It is great for that as well. But water is also related to our emotions. It's related to our subconscious. It's related to intuition. Water is representing what is flowing, what is free, adaptable, flexible. So you being able to be adaptable and flexible, being wise enough to know what you need to burn and break through those obstacles, the box. To be wise enough to know which things need more aggression and which things need more mercy. Very important message, I think, for a lot of us, myself included. All right, I have one last card for you, Paul, too. And this is an affirmation card. It says, I am thankful. May I continue to see the good in my life and express my gratitude deeply. Thank you all so much for participating in this reading, for clicking on the video and watching this. If this resonated with you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe for more content. If you want a personal reading done by me, you can also check that out in the link in the description below. And thank you all so much for watching. Until next time. Hey everybody that chose pawn number 3, welcome to your reading. This is what you need to hear for the year of 2026 as it pertains to your career, your finances, and the card that you've chosen here is the Sword. Really interesting card because we have a whole suit of the swords within tarot, and what the sword itself usually represents is the mind, and it can represent words and communication. But here within this book, the archetypal energy of the sword, it says the knife, the blade, the weapon, and on the light side, it says cutting through to what is essential. And on the dark side, it says hasty, backstabbing, a dull and painful blade. So I'm going to go ahead and read the book on this and tell you exactly what this says about the sword. It says, to use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth when the cord that we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destinies. Of course, there are things that come to my mind similar to Pal 2 with the box and breaking out of the confines of the box. It could be, cutting a cord. It could be removing that thing that doesn't serve us anymore. It makes a lot of sense in alignment with our career and things that we might want to move on to and move away from. Now, it's making a decision. It's taking action. It is actually doing something with what you know. And sometimes that takes a bit of processing, though, to get there. And I think that also might be something that you've been doing as you've been doing this processing. You've been kind of mulling over this idea and this concept over and over and over again about what it is that you want to do and how you want to move forward. And I think we're getting to the point where it's like you've got to make a decision, you've got to take a step, and you've got to actually commit and do something. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot cards for you, pile 3, and see what we've got for further clarification. We've got the Queen of Cups. All right. You've got the Four of Cups. All right. So definitely needing to look at the opportunity. And there you go. You've got opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. So you've got a perfect opportunity being presented to you. Probably already at this point that you're watching this, or and of course it could just be the energy for the year, so take a look at the opportunities, feel lucky. We'll talk about that in a second. But the Queen of Cups, she represents being able to hold space. I often think of her as the therapist kind of energy. Are you able to hold space for the emotions of other people? Or are you able to hold space even for your own emotions? Are you able to sit with them and sink deeply into them and experience them and then process them? This could have a lot to do with your career going forward. It could be something that you are using a lot within your career going forward. It could be your future career if you decide to make a decision to transition. Of course, this could be related to finance as well. And what are your ideas and conceptions about money, and what does money represent to you? What are your feelings about it? You've got the Four of Cups, which represents an opportunity. So this is where our challenge is this year. You have something that's being really placed in front of your face, and you might be worrying about the other things that you have or don't have. So the whole point of this, from what I'm seeing with this coming out in the reading, has to do with luck and understanding how much you have in your life. And this is, I always try to make this disclaimer when I get into stuff like toxic positivity, because you could you could tell somebody like you don't know how good you have it and stuff, and that's not really that helpful. But there's another side to that kind of is helpful, because the more that you see the good that's within your life and the luck that you have within your life, the easier it's going to be to see it more. It's the easier it's going to be to see the opportunities. I've been hearing about the study that was done where people who believe that they are lucky are just able to see more opportunities. You can look that up somewhere on the internet. I don't even know the name of the study. It has something to do with reading a newspaper. I don't know. Look that up if you're interested in scientific studies and stuff like that. But actually, people who are who believe that they are lucky are able to actually see opportunities in front of them. That's what I think of when I see the Four of Cups, because if you're looking at what you're lacking and what you're missing, you're going to see more of what you're lacking and what you're missing. But if you're able to shift your perspective to be able to see what it is that you already have and the beauty that's within what you already have, and being able to reframe your mind and your feelings, your energy, to notice that you are very lucky, you are very abundant, and you have everything that you need, the easier it's going to be to see the opportunities that are presented. So your blessing for the year is the Ace of Pentacles, and that is an opportunity that's presenting itself to you, a monetary opportunity. It's a job, it's a clean bill of health. It could be a move to a new home, a new environment, whatever it is. It's stability, it's structure. It's also a seed in the sense that you are going to plant something that's going to grow into a whole new era, I think, of your life. So pay very close attention to your luck and your opportunities. If you need to write this down and put it on your mirror, like a sticky note that says, I am lucky and I see all of the beautiful, abundant opportunities that are within my life, then do it. You've got to do something to pay attention to this on a daily basis, because it's not just going to happen from doing it one time. Anyway, I'm going to pull a few more cards here to get more specifics into the year. Got the Nine of Pentacles. And I love this because now we're seeing an increase of abundance, a lot of growth, setting up a foundation. It is also related to birth and creativity. You've got the World, which again, related to birth and creativity to some degree, but also endings in some ways. It's being able to be the observer, embody the observer archetype, looking at things from this outside point of view, so that way you can get a better understanding. It's increasing your knowledge. You've got strength, and strength is really representing your animalistic side of yourself, making friends with this higher aspect of consciousness. So maybe even bridging the gap between these two aspects. It could have to do with your instincts and desires and things that you want to act on really right away. And being able to come in with this higher state of consciousness and to be able to calmly tame the lion. It could even represent like the reactive self. And you've got the Page of Swords. So let's break this down for a second. This is representing your like 4 seasons within the year, or we could break this into 3 months. So your first 3 months is represented by the Nine of Pentacles. Your next 3 months, maybe like from March to June, you've got the World. The next 3 months, you've got the Strength card, and then by the end of the year, we end with the Page of Swords, which is really interesting because the Page of Swords is this sense of curiosity, and it could even be a call to adventure in some way, but specifically within the mind, maybe entering into a new area of study, a new skill that you want to learn. And of course, with our very first card, the sword, it could be that decision, making a decision to pursue a different career or a different path. It could be changing the way that you look at your job or the way that you look at money. It could be related to all of that. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is representing this abundance. So you're getting a really good start early. Like it's an early start when it comes to being able to see the manifestation of your growth and what it is that you're actually doing and the results of all of the hard work that you've been putting in. It's a card too that's related to intuition, and it's not necessarily about getting up and going out there and working too hard. It relies on both the knowledge and the understanding that you've already built about this subject that you're working within. So I guess what I could say is it's the intuition that's built from both the feelings and the logic that you're able to hold at the same time, that is able to create this whole landscape and this whole world for yourself that is expansive and it's opening and it's giving birth to the reality that you truly want to experience. And then you've got the world. So you could view this as success. It could be getting what it is that you want. It could be rising to a higher position. The world is above the world, looking down at the world, really. She is that divine feminine that is related to the intuition, to the link into the all. Again, the observer archetype. So you're able to look at a situation by around the middle of the year from a higher perspective, from a higher viewpoint than you were able to do before. As we get into the second half of the year with strength, like I said, is also about the animalistic self, the reactive self, and again, the desires and the wishes and all of that. It also is associated with lust, but being able to come in with this higher aspect of consciousness to be able to tame the lower aspect, or not just tame it, or not just put a stop to our natural desires, but to be able to use it or alchemize it, to transform it, to do something with it, with that energy that is productive, that is in alignment with like the higher self, the Holy Guardian Angel, the HGA. Now, the Strength card is linking two spheres on the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is Gebra and Chesed. So we're talking about linking the Mars force with the Jupiter force. We're talking about linking severity with mercy. How do you turn something that is a challenge or something that is even destructive, honestly? How are you able to take something like that and transmute it into something that is expansive, that is world opening? That is a theme that I'm kind of seeing coming up again and again within your reading. Now, you've got the Page of Swords at the end. So we're ending this year out with this curiosity, the love for the truth. It could be a love for the law. But there's some communicative aspect that I think is really interesting to you by the end of the year that you are starting to take action on, to start to learn more. Maybe it could even be apprenticeship, like you are starting to learn from somebody else. Maybe you're embodying the teacher archetype and helping somebody else learn. That's possible too. Sharing your wisdom, that's possible. But I also get that feeling from this Page of Swords as becoming a student and learning, and whether this is actually going back to school or if this is something else. It could be you being a student, but maybe not in the official sense of enrolling in school or something like that. It could be, though. Now, I'm going to pull some oracle cards. Before I do that, I'm going to pull one last card for this, the tarot card. You've got the Four of Swords, which is rest. So another swords card. You got a lot of synchronicities here within this reading. It's really cool. But your Four of Swords is representing rest. So rest after strife is really what the card represents. any kind of struggles that you've been experiencing, you're actually getting respite. You're getting the relief from those things. Really cool. All right, so some of these oracle cards. Let's see if we can get any further clarifications for you guys. Pile number 3. All right, let's see. All right, it says the moment that I jumped off of it was the moment I touched down. Card number 35. All right, oh, there it is. I was looking for the book. Okay, card 35. It says, the moment I jumped off of it was the moment I touched down. Doing everything we can to surrender, grieve, let go, allows for the opening to what life has in store for us next. When we move from where we were to where we're going, it can feel like a limbo abyss. Deep breaths through it. Living in the question till the clarity emerges is warrior work. I am taking this as a sense of patience too. There's the gap in between, and you don't have to have the answer, the result all figured out here in this moment. You don't have to have everything down in this moment. Life is a journey, life is a process. So the more that you can focus on, I think, the processes, even like internal inquiries where you're able to just go within, not necessarily just searching for an answer, but asking yourself maybe what it is that you want or why you want this. What is it that doesn't make you happy about where you are, and the things that do make you happy generally within life. These can be, it's like soul searching. Where is it that your energy is located, even within the body? Like, where's the feeling located, and where is the desire and the energy coming from? Is it something that's been placed on you by society and other people? Is it something that's an internal motivator, an internal drive? What are the things that you're relying on motivation for within life rather than even discipline? Asking yourself these types of questions, and not necessarily just searching for an answer or having to find that clarity right now in this moment, but being able to just, whether this is organization, whether this is making lists of these things, or just doing this completely internal and being introspective, those are the things that you want to focus on, the processes versus the results and the outcome. And being okay with that, being comfortable with the gap that you are in the moment. I think that that's going to be huge for you this year. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some other cards for you, some other oracle. It's such a weird card. It says lighten up. Wow. You're being asked to remember that life doesn't always have to be so serious, kind of like what I was just saying with being okay with being in that gap. Yes, there are hard things happening. No, it's not always easy to be here on Earth, but you can always find time to laugh, be silly, have fun. It's so important that you do so. Wow. I feel like I need that message sometimes. Sometimes I'm just so go to the next thing. Yeah, I like that card. So really interesting. This is kind of opposite in a lot of ways to pile 2, because pile 2 we even have water, and here we have fire. It says the element of fire heralds new life and positive transformation. Wow. So taking a look at the things in your life that you do want to burn, and the obstacles, burn through obstacles, break through obstacles and limitations. Where are your boundaries that maybe have been placed on you by other people? Maybe some of you would be interested in pile 2 because we were talking about breaking out of the box, which is kind of similar to that message. But fire has the energy to create new life by burning away the old. Think about the phoenix that rises from the ashes, or what happens after this destructive, awful, horrific forest fire is that now the ground is renewed. There is this renewal that happens by fire. That's the whole point of it's what alchemy is all about. It's even distilling something down to its most pure substance. So, honoring the fire and the difficulties and all of the challenges that you might be experiencing at the moment, which can be really hard to do and a hard message to take in from somebody who's telling you from the outside of those experiences. But being able to honor the anger and the all of the emotions that are involved within this process, and not just using them in a destructive way that is really hurting us, but to be able to use these things to transmute our energy or to lead us down a different path, to be able to use that energy to make decisions that are actually meaningful and impactful for our lives. It can change the course, it could change the whole direction of our lives. Those are the things that you want to think about when it comes to this card. Now, you can work with the element of fire, you can work with the symbol, you can draw it, put energy into it, put it in places that you see it very often. There are some ways that you can work with the symbol and, of course, the element of fire. Pay attention to your vitality and your energy and your drive. When you're having low vitality, low energy, low drive, all of those kinds of things, you want to take a look at where are you overextending yourself? Where is your energy going? What are you doing in your life that is sucking the energy away from you versus using the energy to feed the creative spark within you? Now, I think this is the last card. Yeah. Okay, so this is your last card, your affirmation card. Pile number 3, what do we got for you? It says, I open a clear pathway for my energy to flow. May my energy flow toward manifesting my intentions. Awesome. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. If so, please leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can definitely do that. The link is in the description below. And again, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, for being here, and I will catch you all next time.